Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at some unofficial patch notes because there was early access for Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm, and a lot of people have seen and looked at things that have changed within that build of the game. So this is going to be some of the actual changes, but they may not be 100% true. They may change things last second, but let's get into it. Before we get into it though, I am giving away gold lattice on screen. You can see it. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's just jump straight into it. So on Reddit there was a post posted that had different changes to different characters, and first and foremost, Hela. So Hela has been a problem in this game, mostly because of how far you can fire your attacks from, and on top of that, you know, just in general with the seasonal bonus of 20% damage, she was just broken, utterly just out of control. Look how far I can hit from over here. So one of the big changes she has is that her damage drop off is going to be faster. So you probably won't be able to fire from like all the way over here. You might have to be like, I've never seen this bar up here before running around. You might probably have to be like here instead. You know, you're going to have to be closer to the enemies. On top of that, her HP has dropped from 275 to 250, which I think doesn't need to happen, because once she loses that range, she has to get in close on people, or closer on people, which leaves her vulnerable to attack. So I really don't think the HP needed to be changed. The seasonal bonus as well has been changed from 20% to 15%, I believe. And those are the changes for Hela. Next up, we have Hawkeye. So Hawkeye at the moment is also pretty good because of his range, because of his damage. You know, he can one-shot most squishy enemies, and you do that by charging up his bow. As you can see, it gets to 100%, and then you can fire it and kill things fairly easily. Now, that charge rate has changed, and I don't know specifically what he is now, but it's 2.5 seconds that it's moving to. So you can see that it's roughly probably about a second. I think now we're getting to the 100%. So pretty much, let's just say double the charge time in my mind. So he's also got less seasonal damage, which means that even though he's going to be able to fire from a very good range, he's going to have to charge up for it. Hot take, not going to change Hawkeye whatsoever, because Hawkeye is someone who stands back, so you don't have to worry about that charge rate. You can pick off squishies, which is your role. Tanks and stuff, it's not your role to damage them, but you don't need to fully get to 100% for it to be effective. So I can fire 2-3 shots like that from this range, and that's just me pressing the button. I'm not even charging it up at all. If I took it to about 50%, the best that I can, I just don't think the changes are going to really do much for Hawkeye, but we'll have to wait and see. Storm has some changes as well. Now, I haven't played Storm. I don't even know what her abilities are, so I'm just going to stand here throwing out things. Oh, look, I'm throwing out lightning bolts. I've never played her, just because I heard she was bad at the start of the game when it first came out. But I know there's people who have been able to make her work, so, you know, let's just talk about the changes. So she has a better damage fall-off range and more damage. So she'll be doing more damage and being able to do it from a further distance away. I'm assuming, like, her little lightning bolts here are barely doing 1 bar of health. So yeah, I could see the problems with Storm, to be fair. She also looks a lot faster in her wind, like she can move faster, and a larger buff radius. So she's just getting all round improved. I can't really give an opinion on this because of the simple fact that I don't, you know, play Storm, so I don't know what she does. I'm assuming this is the wind form that she can move around in, which would be pretty useful. Wow, that ran out quick. That should definitely last longer. But yeah, so Storm getting some buffs, good to see. So Venom is also getting some buffs. Well, not too many buffs, but his right click or his left trigger, where you lock onto people and then, you know, cause them to be attached to you, it's going to slow them down a lot more than it already does, which is good, because that's the one thing in Venom's kit that I think did need changing, because it was hard enough to get, well, not hard enough, but it was like to get people in range to be able to do it, and then they just break out and run off. It just didn't feel like it really meant to. Like, I've never used it efficiently. I've just kind of hoped that it would hit, and it did. I do feel like as well, like, Venom is such a good character, but there's just something else missing from him. Not damage, because his damage is fine. I just don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but Venom, he just, I like him and I play him a lot, but I don't know. There's just something missing about him. I'd rather play Magneto because he just feels more like a solid tank. So on to Mr. Wolverine. Now, the only thing that's changed from Wolverine, and probably the most ridiculous thing, is that his health has gone up to 350. Now, I say ridiculous because of the simple fact that Wolverine's place in the meta is to just absolutely tear through tanks, right? Once you get his rage built up and you get all of his abilities going and stuff, and the thing is when you're in close trying to tear up these tanks, you don't want to have too much health as well, because he gets healing as well, I believe. Wolverine, I haven't played him too much, but I believe he gets healing as well when he's in his super like this. I don't know. What's this bot doing over here? I think he's lost. Yeah, so you're getting in close to tear down some tanks. I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's too much health. You're just going to be able to get through more of those tanks. But in the mid game, before you get in close, before you get all your range, the health is definitely needed. But I don't know. I haven't played enough Wolverine to make a judgment on this, but it just does feel like it's going to make him one of the main meta characters in the game now. So now we have Captain America, someone who else I haven't played, just because when I first played him, I didn't feel comfortable with him. It just felt weird. It felt off. I can't explain why, but it just did not feel good. So he has now got more health. At the moment, we have 650 health. It goes up to 675 health. About. Wait, what can you do in this Fearless Leap? Oh, a diving charge. Oh, that's sick. So yeah, so he's got more health. So his dash move, his X for me, this one, boom, has a 12-second cooldown. It now has a 10-second cooldown. And also as well, when you're in his ultimate and you're running around, you will have faster movement. Apparently, this is what people are saying. You're going to get faster movement, which obviously is very, very good. Very, very good. And it should be. I don't like him though, so I won't be using him, but you know, I guess for Captain America mains, this is very useful. So Cloak and Dagger, another character that I don't use because it just takes too much brain power for me to switch between the two characters. I'd rather just play Mantis. For those interested, by the way, I play Hela, Mantis, Magneto, Venom, Punisher, a bit of Star-Lord, a bit of Namor, and I'm really trying to get Psylocke on the go. So yeah, those are the main characters that I play. So for Cloak and Dagger, you have a faster swap time between them, so it won't be too much animation basically before you can get in and start doing moves, which is definitely needed in my opinion, because even though they've got a good balance between two different sets of players, like a healer and a DPS, it just seems like being able to swap between them should be more natural and faster, and you don't have to worry about anything. Then for Cloak, her Dagger Storm, this one here, has a cooldown of 15 seconds. That's going down to 12 seconds. Also as well, their ultimate, where you dash around, there's going to be a 4th dash, which is probably really important because anytime someone has ever used that against me, it's so easy to get away from. It's unbelievable. So good changes there, I reckon, for Cloak and Dagger. Right, so next up we have Winter Soldier. Now Winter Soldier has 250 health and will go up to 275, which I think is a really, really good change. Also, Bucky gets health every time he hits one of his abilities. So you can see I got up to 205 health there. It's 30 health increase. We are now going to be getting 40 instead of 30, which is really good. And I think will make Bucky pretty much meta, in my opinion, in DPS, because now he's got more survivability overall and his damage is still insane, and the kit that he has is very, very useful. Especially, you know, he can get in, he can grab people and pull them to him. He's just got an all-round great general kit. So I think, you know, with these changes, we might see a lot more Buckies appearing. So next up we have Batman, and Batman here, I mean Moon Knight, sorry, don't kill me. Moon Knight is a pretty good, you know, all-round character. He's got a lot of unique abilities. I think he's one of the most unique in the game, in my opinion. You know, having to drop your ank down and fire your ank to get like bullets to ricochet off it, I think it's really cool and interesting. However, his ultimate, and I've noticed this as well, can very easily be dodged. So you drop it down like this and you can see the circle there. What's going to happen is things are going to drop from the sky within that circle and do damage. This is the normal size. It's going to be bigger with the update, and also as well the animation to get it to start up is going to be shorter. So it's going to be a very quick little boom, drop it out and get stuck in with your super. I do feel like it doesn't last long enough, in my opinion. I feel like it should last at least another second, because it just runs out almost instantly. Look, it's just like, oh, gone. I feel like, you know, it should be like an extra second, an extra hand coming down from the sky. But the buff, I think, will be welcomed by a lot of people who play Moon Knight. And honestly, I think I might pick him up because he's so much fun. So now we have Squirrel Girl, who is a character I absolutely love, but I've just never played. And she has an ability to root someone to the ground like this, and then they get rooted. this will have a bigger hitbox because it does, you know, you have to pretty much hit someone directly on, which if you're at range, obviously like this, the nut's got to travel through the air, hit the person, lock them down. It does seem a little bit unfair. So the fact that that's going to get a bigger hitbox, maybe potentially you could throw it like here. Oh, that guy just came back. You could probably throw it like here next to him, like this way, and maybe still connect onto it. I feel like that's a good thing, considering the it doesn't even last that long either. Look, it just runs out pretty much instantly. Like, I feel like having a bigger hitbox is a good thing. Then also she has an ultimate. Now the ultimate is just a bunch of squirrels that run at enemies and they go in random directions. Now it's going to have better tracking. So this is the ultimate here. We go boom, and then they just bounce around doing whatever they want to whoever they want, but it's just random and all over the place. So now it looks like they're improving the tracking on it. I love Squirrel, gosh, it's so much fun. So much fun. So Scarlet Witch is getting some movement buffs, and I don't know why I've never played Scarlet Witch because her ultimate is incredible. I love it, but her movements in her shift, or the right bumper for us here, will be improved. She'll move faster, which honestly great, because you know you get a little bit of a speed boost, but it doesn't seem that useful. And also when she's casting her ultimate, that is when we're going to see her be able to move faster as well, because you do get kind of stuck in midair. And even though it's a beast of an ultimate, probably the best in the game in my opinion, because you could just wipe out everyone with one hit. It's like a diva bomb from Overwatch. I feel like you can get taken out too easily in the sky if someone knows what they're doing. So being able to move a little bit quicker will help that. So next up we have Luna, who is an incredible healer. You know, gets banned in most pro games because of how ridiculous her ult is. But her ult isn't just for healing and survivability. There's also a damage aspect to it. So you can see here we've got a yellow plus sign for the health, and then a bunch of blue arrows pointing up on that little bar down the bottom, and you can toggle between them. Now essentially, if you're in the middle of your team, you could just potentially just keep hitting it over and over and over again, because what you're going to be able to do then is power them up and also just heal them. So you could just keep doing this while you're driving around with this long ass animation. You could keep them healed and keep them buffed at the same time. Maybe not as fast as I'm doing it, but you know, you can do that. So now there is more of a delay between switching between health and DPS basically, which, you know, I think is great. But honestly, I think what they should have done to nerf Luna is reduce the time of this ult, like by like a second, maybe 2 seconds. It just feels too good. Now, the only other thing is a respawn improvement to most games. So for instance, with the checkpoint matches where you've drive the truck through the area or whatever it is for that specific map, every time you hit a checkpoint, a new respawn point is created closer to where the cart is. If you die as you're hitting the checkpoint, often you will spawn in the old checkpoint, so you'll be miles away because the new checkpoint has a new respawn point. You will now be able to basically teleport yourself from one respawn to the other, only if it's been unlocked. Obviously, I'm not talking about like just being able to go wherever you want, but if you get left behind in a checkpoint, like say it's over here somewhere and the new checkpoint is like over there, you'll be able to teleport across to the new checkpoint, which I think is incredible, because oftentimes when you're a slow moving character, like I remember doing it with Magneto, I respawned in the old checkpoint place and I had to basically take 2 minutes to get across the entire map to the new checkpoint. So good to see, good to see. Now there's probably going to be more patch notes, there's probably going to be more things that have changed, but this is just what people have observed with the early access build. Things in this list might not even be true for the full release of season 1, we don't know yet, but you know, this is a good guide, a good idea of what we could see. So let me know what you're thinking down below. Who is your character? Have you lost your character now because they've nerfed them too much? Are you going to play another character because they've buffed them? Let me know. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy. Now you guys have been awesome.